Please be advised, if you have not seen the movie that is about to be reviewed in this video, stop this video right now, go and watch the movie and then come back, because there are going to be massive plot spoilers throughout the course of this video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves, and today we are taking a look at what was the third and at the time final installment of what was going to be the Scream trilogy, Scream 3. Welcome to the final act. Chapter 1 sets the rules, Chapter 2 bends the rules, but in Chapter 3, all bets are off. There are no rules. This came out in 2000. It was once again directed by Wes Craven, and this time written by Ehren Kruger, who took over the writing duties from Kevin Williamson. I wouldn't say it's the weaker of the Scream movie, like the first three. I'm not going to say that, because it's very enjoyable. There's some really good suspense built throughout, which we will cover. And look, I find it to be just a really good movie. I hate breaking things down too much, saying, oh no, this was a piece of crap, and I know I'm going to have to do that with some reviews. I'm sorry already for some people. If there's a movie that I like and I'm going to take a giant shithole over it because I hate it, that's my opinion. You guys like whatever you like, dig what you dig. These are just my opinions. You don't have to agree with me. That's just the way it goes. But Scream 3, I really did enjoy. It's one of my favorites. Scream, yes, it is a little bit weaker than Scream 2, but it's still a movie that is easy to watch over and over and over again. And one thing I do want to point out, going back to the original Scream, I actually forgot to mention this. You can see the shirt that I'm wearing, Ice Nine Kills. They did a Scream theme song called Your Number's Up. Check it out, because it is really it's a great track. It is really brutal. It is really heavy, and the video as well is just. It's a new spin on a lyric video. It's cool. Anyway, getting off point, getting back on point. Scream 3 takes place 2 years after the Windsor College murders. During that time, they have pumped out not only Stab 1 and Stab 2, but they are now working on Stab 3. Cotton Weary is a massively popular daytime talk show host, albeit very controversial at times. But he's got his moment in the limelight. It's like, things are turned around for old Cotton, when he was gone from, facing the death penalty in Scream 1 to getting some form of redemption act in Scream 2. And then now he's this big time celebrity. Everything's coming up, Cotton. What can go wrong? Everything. Everything can and does go wrong. We're stuck in traffic. Typical, downtown LA rush hour sort of thing. No big deal. He's on the phone to his agent. Gets a call on the other line. Thinking it's a female fan. He's like, yeah, I'll call you back. And they start talking. And there's a little bit of flirtation going on. But it's not a fan. It is, in fact, yes, our favorite homicidal prankster, Ghostface, who is once again, as you can guess, trying to hunt down Sidney Prescott and will literally kill anyone who stops him or her from achieving said goal. Now, Cotton, of course, doesn't know where Sydney is. Nobody knows where Sydney is. She's vanished like the Unabomber. We'll get to that later. But the really ingenious part here is that when Ghostface is in Cotton's house attacking Cotton's girlfriend Christine, instead of just like the normal monotonous sort of voice changer that we heard used in Screams 1 and 2, this one can actually mimic a person's voice. So it can mimic Cotton Weary, it can mimic Sydney, it can mimic everybody. And this is where it gets really, really ingenious, because as the attack on Christine is happening, she's thinking it's Cotton. Because, like, as I said, his voice has been sort of duplicated with this new device. So she's thinking, holy crap, he's snapped, he's gone crazy. It's like she's panic. And when, Cotton does come home and try to, console her a bit, like, hey, everything's going to be fine. Of course, he gets knocked down with a fire poker. And she gets stabbed from behind. It's like, it's just the, oh shit, wrong person. Oh shit, wrong person sort of motive. Don't touch your faces, people. And again, the killer's still trying to find Sydney. Cotton doesn't know where she is, and that is it for Cotton Weary. Once again, in the first 10 minutes, a major sort of character is, killed off. I shouldn't actually, that's not early on in the movie. I should say a major character is killed off, because Randy technically was sort of killed off early-ish. In Scream 2, he wasn't killed off right away. He was killed off probably before the halfway mark, but still in that early enough segment. So that sort of continues that trope a little bit. So then we flash forward to Sydney, who is living on the outskirts of Los Angeles on a very isolated farmhouse with security systems everywhere, and a golden retriever who is now working as a women's crisis counselor under the nom de plume of Laura, which she's done that for the last couple of years after dropping out from Windsor College. This never really gets referenced too much in the movie, but you do a little bit of research on that on the internet, you can find a lot of useful tropes. So the news of Cotton Weary's death has rocketed the set of Stab 3. Everyone's in shock. It's like, holy shit, this is pretty bad, sort of thing. Like, what's going to happen with the movie, which of course is still going to go ahead. They have a little discussion. And then we go to Courtney Cox, also known, of course, Gal Weathers, who is speaking at a media conference, who has gone, she's at a bit of a roller coaster. Like, she's peaked, being on 60 Minutes too, and now is, a field reporter for Total Entertainment. She then gets meted by Detective Kincaid, played by a pre-Grey's Anatomy Patrick Dempsey, who produces the photo of Maureen Prescott, which said Cotton. Gail identifies pretty much straight away. So obviously she's known the whole family for a very, very long time, and sort of becomes a bit of a consultant for the LAPD while they try to solve the killing of Cotton Weary. So we're now going back to the movie studio. We've got Sarah, played by Jenny McCarthy. Now, this is where it gets a little bit meta. It's a movie about the making of a movie. Are you confused yet? Don't be, because they pretty much did the same thing in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was the 7th installment of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. They did the exact same sort of thing. So it's not really that difficult to follow. They throw in a couple of the old usual cliches. One, when she is on the phone to the director, Roman, is, you know, she's complaining a little bit like, you know, I'm 34 and I'm playing a 21-year-old. Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that? Oh, yes, that's right. They reference that in Scary Movie. So you can sort of think of that as a little bit of a nod, like, yeah, we hear you. We know the cliches. Unfortunately, of course, Sarah gets killed off, and once again, that throws the production into complete and utter disarray. Roman, the director, is now considered a suspect because he was talking to Sarah at the time she was murdered, or did he? Let's remember that little magic MacGuffin of the voice changer from a little bit earlier. We'll save that for later on. Of course, he's pleading his innocence, and we see Gale comes on set to sort of scope everything out. It's like, oh, wow, this is a sort of deja vu. Now, I'm saying deja vu instead of deja voodoo because deja voodoo actually absolutely makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Whenever you get a familiar flashback of something, it's deja vu. It's deja vu. But that's neither here nor there. And this is where we see Dewey, who somehow miraculously has full use of his arm again. Wonder how that happened. Did he get some sort of corrective surgery or whatever? This never really gets touched on because if you remember from Scream 2, he's walking around, he's got a limp, and he can't really move his arm much. It just pretty much, his left arm, it just pretty much stays like across the whole front of his body like he's wearing an invisible sling. But now it's fine. Still got a little bit of a limp, but, you know, he's got full use out of his left arm. A little bit strange, that one. Doesn't get referenced it anyways, just whatever. Let that slide. There's just one little inconsistency there. So the killer ends up tracking down Sydney, ringing her up as the guise of her mother. It's like, oh no, I think I've killed somebody, Laura. I want to speak. I need to speak to you. It's like, oh, you need to speak to the police. And I turn on the news and all that, and then it's like, do you think this is over, Sydney? And it's like, holy shit. So Dewey's trying to get a hold of Sydney to come down to the studio, to the station rather. And of course, you know, because she's been found, Sydney thinks, hey, you know, no better place to be than, you know, around Dewey and Gale, and, you know, hopefully get the son of a bitch, help the police. So brings her in, it's like, oh my God. And then it's, you know, sort of realize, like, thinking, oh wow, he was able to get a hold of you so fast. No, actually the killer family. So they go to the movie lot together and sort of scope it all out, and this is where we see a little flash from the blast from the past. We have Randy's sister. It was never referenced in the first two movies that Randy had a sister. Okay. But she puts in a video, and here's Randy. Once again, a very special appearance from Jamie Kennedy, who basically breaks down the rules of what the concluding chapter of a trilogy is. Basically, all bets are off. Anyone who is anyone that can die, including the main characters. So that means you, Sid. So they're still stumbling around, trying to walk around, seeing where all these photos and that are being taken. And so we get to a little surprise cameo. There's actually two really, really good surprise cameos in here. The first one is Jay and Silent Bob. I know a lot of people sort of didn't really like that because I thought it was too campy, and because, you know, I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was in production at the time and they wanted to get a little bit of a tie-in somehow, but it was a nice lighthearted moment. It was just like, haha, cool. Just like ease some tension a bit. And then we get Carrie Fisher, who plays some like the disgruntled studio archivist who looks exactly like, you know, Carrie, who looks like, you know, the chick who played Princess Leia, which is Carrie Fisher, but she's playing someone else who looks similar. And it's like, oh yeah, I was in the running for the role of Princess Leia, and you know, the one who gets it is the one who sleeps with George Lucas. I guess that was just sort of the way this Hollywood and that was at the time. You know, you sort of sleep your way to the top. I guess the old expression is. But they find out that, you know, during that period of time, that Maureen Prescott was a small-time horror movie actress named Rena Reynolds. So they talk to the producer of the movies at the time, Milton. It brings up all this exposition, like, you know, everyone knew what happened back then. You know, lots of wild parties, lots of drinking, lots of drugs, lots of hibbity-dibbity. And that was just the way it was at the time, supposedly. Man, who'd have thought that something like that would have been shone a light on many, many years later in real life. Yeah. And the guy that owns the film studio. Anyway, sorry, not political stuff. So the movie gets shut down because of the killings and everything. They have a bit of a rap party where everyone's down in the dumps. Like, well, can you blame them, really? You know, the movie they're working on has been shut down. They're all out of work. And once again, the killer strikes, cuts the power, and starts sending through script pages via fax. This is long before, you know, Blackberries and everything else and instant messaging in your pocket. So for Tommy goes in, like, gets the last page, and it's like, the killer will grant mercy to whoever smells the gas. And of course, he's flicked open a cigarette lighter so he can read it, and boosh, he is gone. Pity, because he was kind of a lot out of character too. Oh well. It's just the way it is, all bets are off. So there's more discussion about movie trilogies and everything that goes on. They're back at the police station. Again, this is where, you know, pre-Derek Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey just sort of says to Sydney, you know, all bets are off sort of thing. They're still trying to find out who the killer is. We go forward to sort of like, this is the climax. This is the final third, the final act. So they're all at the producer's house because the director Roman's birthday, you know, the big 30, and his movie shut down, and everyone's still trying to have a good time. And of course, chaos and pandemonium and everything sort of ensue. A few of them go on a hunt to try to find a secret screening room. But of course, you know, here comes the killer, and they all get knocked off one by one. And Sydney is lured to this party again by, you know, the magic MacGuffin of the voice changer, which can emulate anybody and everybody's voice, which Gail and Dewey discover for themselves. So the killers actually rang Sydney pretending to be Dewey and saying, hey, you know, come here, come here. So this is normally where you would have Admiral Akbar just sort of automatically in the background just go, it's a trap! Pity they didn't. That's just. That would have been so good as in that movie. Just a little bit of action. Someone says it's a trap. But anyway, Sydney goes there. Ghostface is thrown out a metal detector wand. Like, hang on, she's gonna come packing. Put it over yourself. Beep beep. Throw the gun away. She's got another concealed gun. Ghostface attacks. He gets shot at and disappears. Sydney manages to somehow is chased down by Ghostface, but she finds this secret screening room. And and who, lo and behold, pops up is Ghostface again. Now this is where, now, if you remember the first two movies, there was two killers. This time there's only one. And she's thinking like, and Sydney's thinking to herself like, how could you have survived? How can you still be alive? I've shot you. There's the reveal. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. And we see a throwback to the first movie playing on a projector in the background. This is where Maureen Prescott is roaming around with Billy Loomis's father at a sleazy motel. And it's like, the killer reveal is Roman. Okay, first you think, it's like, oh, this is a completely random dude. Like, what the hell? It's like, Roman Tremble, director and brother. So it turns out Roman is in fact the older half-brother, I should say, of Sidney Prescott. He is, of course, Maureen's illegitimate son. I shouldn't say Maureen, I should say Rena Reynolds. Because, yes, he is her illegitimate son and spent years trying to track her down, only to be shut out. And this is where he sort of takes credit for Billy and Stu, killing Maureen and starting the whole thing off, really. And, they have this epic showdown. They tussle a bit. He loses his knife. Sydney loses a gun. Sydney picks up the knife. Roman's picked up the gun and shoots Sydney twice. He's thinking, cool, yes, I've got the upper hand. Wrong, because Sydney is also wearing a bulletproof vest. Sydney then, after a bit more of a tussle, she goes full on Sharon Stone on him and stabs him in the chest with an ice pick. Here come Gail and Dewey. They burst in, think everything's, okay, everything's fine. We know the old tropes by now. They always come back. Boom, Roman comes up. I'm gonna get you. Dewey shooting pointlessly, not realizing, I suppose, that the guy's wearing a bulletproof vest, until he hears Sydney scream out, just shoot him in the head, bang, headshot, done. And that is it for the killer. He is down and out. Another happy ending. So if we get the final scene. It's a nice feel-good scene. We get them at Sydney's isolation farm. She's turned all the security systems and off. The detectives there like, hey, we're going to watch a movie. And they've got Dewey and Gail standing on the front porch like, oh, will you sign the book for me? It's like, oh, you hate this book. Gail opens it up and there's an engagement ring in there. That's Dewey's way of popping the question to Gail. And, well, as we all know, they are married in real life at this point. And that is it for Scream 3. Look, it's another really fun movie to watch. Yes, it is quite meta with the whole, movie about the making of a movie. But, look, it's one you can easily watch. I said at the start of the Scream 2 review, you can watch these movies in order and just have a lot of fun with them. I strongly rate it. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it because of, it's like, oh, this is a bit silly. It's a bit, whatever. I disagree. I like it very much. I like all the Scream movies, so there's that. All right, I will see you guys next week when we break down Scream 4. Until then, see you next time. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. If you like it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, you hit that subscribe, and you ding that notification cowbell. For any other reviews you want to look at, I will put links up here, and maybe one there. Also, the links to my socials will be down in the description box below, and I shall see you all next time.